Hello everyone and welcome to week 24 of me making my own animated film. I've had so many things to do these past weeks that I'm feeling pretty tired. I don't know about you guys. How are you feeling? I went to that industry breakfast and last week I actually went to an animation festival thing for 2 days, so I haven't been able to work on my film as much as I usually do, but this week it's all back to normal. I've had a great time mingling at the animation festival and seeing amazing lecturers, and you're gonna know more about this next week because I'm gonna talk all about it and show you videos and stuff. But today we're gonna get to what we all have been waiting for. That is colors, shading, highlights, all of the fun stuff. So today I will be going through every step through my process, going through color, to shading, to highlights, until my whole cleanup process is finished. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to do is to figure out what kind of colors I want to use. You could obviously just pick colors straight out of your animation program, but I'd like to have them sort of on a palette so I could just pick them and know that it's the exact same color every time. And I also want to do some experimenting before deciding on colors. So what I do is that I first take a screenshot of my scene that I'm going to be working on, then I import it into Photoshop and start messing around with colors. And when I say messing around, that's exactly what I do because it ain't gonna be pretty. So I first pick some colors that I think look nice, then I play around with layers and stuff. For example, this scene and most of my scenes in my film are pretty like warm colors, so I'm gonna do like an orange overlay on top of it. And I think this looks alright, so let's go with this. When I'm happy with the colors I've picked, I export that and import it into my animation software. And ta-da, I have a perfectly fine palette to pick colors off of. And then it's time to lay down the base color for everything. And this is where I've encountered sort of, I don't know if I should call it a problem, but more of a lack of function in Adobe Animate. Now, for example, when you're putting down a base layer of color on a, let's say it's an illustration, then you only need to do it once, so the technique you're using doesn't really matter too much. But when you have, 50 frames or whatever, however many frames you have, it would be nicer to have something quicker. So Adobe Animate has the bucket tool, that's pretty good. They have this brush setting where it's like stay inside the lines, pretty good. Here's the problem. I don't really close my outlines. So that means bucket tool won't work. And fill inside won't work either because there's a gap in the line. And I do understand that that's how it needs to be, but I also sort of don't want to close my lines because I like the way it looks. And I know other software, like, I don't know if it was TV Paint or Toon Boom, has a feature where it's like, okay, ignore small gaps and paint inside anyway. And that would be great. It would be really great if Animate had that, but it doesn't. And even if all of my lines were closed, I wouldn't want to taint my line art layer with my color, because then if anything goes wrong with the color, then my line art's also messed up. So the only thing I could do there is to duplicate my line art layer and color inside of that, but then you have, it's such a messy system. I wish you could just do like a new layer and reference it. So you could use the line art layer as a reference for the new layer and then just paint like inside of there, but they don't have that. So coloring in stuff in Animate isn't super straightforward. So what the technique I've gone with is straight up just painting. If you have any other ideas, please let me know. But I mean, it works, it's just slower. So I create a color layer below my line art and I color inside the lines by hand. Then we are off to shadows and highlights, and I want these on separate layers as well so I can mess around with alpha and layer styles. And I put these layers in between the color layer and line art layer. So what you want to do here is to be aware of where your light source is. So for example, in this scene, she has a desk light to her left, so I make sure all the highlights are to the left and the shadows correspond to that. Then I make these layers into overlay layers to make them blend in a little bit more, and yeah, play around with alpha, make sure it looks like what I want it to look like. This is how I've done it so far. But for example, the highlight layer, I'm considering trying to fix that stuff in After Effects instead, because I saw a really cool tutorial on how to do that. So we'll see if I continue to do it in this way. I might just add like a little bit if it's a really strong light, but I might go and do it in After Effects. We'll see. The last thing I do is that I want to make sure my character is sort of interacting with the environment as well. So I'm gonna put a layer below my colored layer and do shadows on the environment as well. And then I add, on top of that layer, I add like a blur effect, because my backgrounds are a little bit more painterly than my vectorized characters. So I thought that maybe would make them fit together just a little bit more. And there we have it. We have colored and shaded and highlighted away the whole scene. And that's pretty much it. After that, I actually do play around a little bit with the camera and stuff, because it's fun, but I'm probably not gonna export it like that, because I want it to be pretty clean for when I'm doing all the editing stuff. But yeah, that's it, guys. We did it. After this, I export the file and it's ready to go. Now I just need to do that to 27 more. 27 plus more scenes. This is gonna take a while as well. I think it might be a faster process than doing the rough animations, but you know, this is the first time I'm doing it, so maybe I'm just too optimistic. So we'll see how long this is gonna take. If you guys have any questions about it, please let me know. If you have any tips for me, definitely let me know. If there's anything else you want to know about my journey, yeah, comment down below and maybe I'll make a video about it. So I think that will be all for today. But before I go, I just want to say thank you so much. There's a couple of people who went over to Ko-fi and gave support, and I'm so very thankful for that. So you know who you are. Thank you very, very much. And for everyone else, if you'd like what I do and you want to support what I do, you can find me on Ko-fi. Everyone who donates gets to have their name in the credits of my film when it's done. And if you want more updates from me, I update on social media from time to time. All links are down below. Thank you everyone for listening to my rambles every week. I really appreciate it. I hope you will have a good one. And I will see you next Monday. Bye-bye.